Możemy zaczynać? Pięknie. To się powinno zmieniać. Okay, so that's for. It will be a short introduction, just to involve you in the context. We've got two guests, one from Poland, Michał Ar, and one from Israel, Yael Volovelsky, who also has a Polish roots. Yeah. And we are here because of the quite unique project, connection between Poland and Israel. And that was actually because of Polish embassy in Israel decided to spread the word about participating Jewish people in Warsaw Uprising in 1944, because it was then, when it was created, it was anniversary of 80 years of this event. So that was the main idea, to create this, to popularize the knowledge, because actually in Israel everyone knows about uprising in ghetto in Łódź, but actually no one realized about Warsaw Uprising. Therefore, that was the idea for creating the comics. And actually my task was to find two artists who want to participate and create these comics. It's not long actually, because it's only 8 pages plus cover. So yeah, I mean the beginning was really difficult because no one from embassy knows how to create comics, so we need to have few conversation in advance, just to be sure that they are aware of that comics are not, let's say, created in 1 week, because that was the first, that was the first thought that, wow, actually in 2 weeks we should be ready. It took you about 2 months or 3?
Something like that, yes.
Something like 2 or 3 months. Yeah, and as they defined, the result of the cooperation, we have great comics. So now the question. I mean, that was the introduction. If there are any questions from the audience, please feel free to ask them.
Will it be translated?
Will it be translated? Actually, it's that is the interesting question. Thanks. I mean, the comics is in Hebrew, and during festival Yael and Michał, they signed the copy of booklet which contains barcode for scanning, and it is in Hebrew. So that was also one of the interesting topics, because in Hebrew you are written from right to left.
Yes.
And this is how the frames was created also. So you are written this like manga. And the next question, I mean, it probably will not. It was translated by the embassy for English, but it was not. It doesn't have lettering still. Okay, lettering. I mean.
Yeah.
So it's only like we have a text, but we didn't finish with the proper lettering.
Like manga, old style manga, when people want them original or from French with subtitles.
With subtitles, something like this. Yeah, exactly. So that's it. So now the first obvious question for our artists is how what was the collaboration process between two of you, how it looked like. I mean, I know, but the participant not necessarily. So if you can say a few words about the cooperation between you and your roles in the project. Yeah, first.
I can start. My job going into this project was the narrating and storyboard, and understanding how the story is going to flow between
a few stages of the uprising that the embassy wanted to include, and figure out how to solve problems between the narratives to make sure it's linear and ends in the manner they wanted. And so I drew very roughly my ideas, the way the tempo is going through. We went double page by double page every week, and I sent an idea, and if Michał liked what I sent, then he would recreate it in the official manner we wanted at the end. And I think mostly we agreed on almost every page. We both agreed on at the end. There were not many days we needed changes. Only when the embassy really pushed for anything. But we got our own freedom because I think after the first page we sent, the finished one, they really relaxed. They knew they put the job in the right hands, they feel.
Okay, thanks. It was very useful for me, your storyboards for this comic. Without the storyboard I make nothing. Sorry, my English is not very well. Okay? We had little mistakes in this comic, but it was very technical mistakes. Like, for example, on this cover.
I'm not sure if I can. Let me go back. This one.
Yes, on the cover on the left, you see two airplanes. But from embassy we had a question about maybe one airplane. it was
one is enough. One is enough.
The same was about jak jest miotacz ognia, to był
fire
weapons. The weapons.
About the weapons, it was
a grenade.
Miotacz ognia jest
flamethrower.
Yeah,
something like that. Yes, and our heroes in our comics,
and also here about the grenade.
Yeah, the grenade was a thing.
So this is the first version of grenades, and
this is the second problem.
of grenade.
First problem, and the second was this flamethrower.
Yeah,
flamethrower, and not more. It was very easy.
Yeah.
For me.
Did you have like a history consultant for the arms?
Czy był konsultant? We didn't
embassy
have.
send information, but
Yes,
yeah,
but
with the pictures.
I draw many pictures for the historical movies, etc. I have some in Polish background. Yeah. Yes. It's nothing new for me.
Yeah, we kind of knew that, but still, sometimes you have a historian who sits there and kind of checks if everything was up to the facts, right? That's why I was interested.
Yeah, it was idea to consult this with the Museum of Warsaw Uprising, but it failed somehow. But I mean, they had lots of pictures delivered by the embassy, and also behind these comics is the story of Mr. Stanisław Aronson, and this is actually based on the whole story. That was the idea of embassy. Embassy is based on, let's say, his participation in the Warsaw Uprising. So actually, it shows the history of Jews fighting in Warsaw Uprising based on his memories. Yeah, so that's it. And funny fact is that when we first delivered the first pages, they looked exactly like those what you see before Michał. I mean, it was only storyboards, and they thought that this is the final result, and they were actually really
happy.
Really
weird
happy.
way.
Yeah. So yeah, they were not convinced about the style. Yeah, but yeah, then we told them that this is only a storyboard, and yeah, they were surprised. Oh, this is only a storyboard. Okay, it looks good. So yeah, so of course you can see here that let me change the slides. That that it this is completely another comics comparing Yael's storyboards and the results of Michał, which gives a lots of contrast and energy. Yeah.
You said that the embassy sometimes pushed for something. What was so important for them to
Actually, no. Those are probably small remarks. I would say so. Because we didn't. What was the challenge in this project to avoid the situation when we delivered the whole comics, and they will say, no, this is not what we wanted, and there will be no time because the anniversary will come. So the concept was really discussed with them and accepted page by page, so that there were actually no surprises, and that I think that saves the whole project. Yeah, but it was really nice. I have the next question because for you, Yael, how was it to working with testimony of Stanisław Armstrong?
First of all, it was the first time I ever heard this name, and I learned about the Holocaust and Second World War since I started to exist, pretty much. And in Israel, you grew up around the story of it, especially when you come from Poland, when your family comes from Poland. So first of all, hearing about the Warsaw Uprising for the first time in my life when I'm 29 was beyond amazing for me to know, to learn that there were Jewish soldiers fighting along Polish soldiers in this rebellion was even more astounding. And learning about Stanisław's story was incredible. It's a story I've never heard anything like before. And reading his interviews was fascinating to me. And we wanted to take as much as we can from his story, but there was a problem that Stanisław himself didn't want, I think, if I remember correctly, he didn't want his story to represent the battle. He wanted to step away, in a matter of fact, from this part of history, and we had to find a way to put his narration and his memories in a way that is not offensive to him and his request, and also put his fellow Jew soldiers in the front line, and not just him. So I started researching about the Jewish brigade that worked together during the war and in the riot, and I was shown so many new things, and for me it was life-changing in a way. And I feel like we managed to put Stanisław without making it too much about him, making it more about the warriors, the uprisers, and the Jewish uprisers, really, because we'll get to it probably at the end.
Go ahead.
because at the end we wanted this. It's in Hebrew because it's supposed to go to students in high school in Israel for them to know this story and be reflecting on such a important time in our history, in Jewish history and Polish history combined, and in those very, very important years when they are coming to Poland and seeing all the history of both our countries suffering from Second World War, and they need to know about this collaboration of power between two very, very hurt population that suffered a lot but managed to do something to perhaps try to stop what makes them suffer. It's a sad story, but it is amazing in my eyes.
Mm-hmm. And Michał, did you find something surprising or new in this story, or it wasn't a surprise? Because you already did some historical comics about uprising in ghetto in Łódź,
So I have in my portfolio a comic about Marek Edelman.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit the same story. Like Marek Edelman, he was in the uprising in the ghetto, in the uprising in Warsaw. So some new. The name of this hero, sorry, I don't remember now.
Stanisław.
Yeah. It was absolutely new for me. Yeah, and collaboration with you, it was something new for me. It was first time when I draw. I saw your storyboard. It's absolutely amazing for me. Maybe strange, but.
Yeah, it's new, but it was very, very, I don't know how to explain, fun, good.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorites two slides. Comparing the storyboard and the final results. And Michał, what did you find difficult with creating this history? You said that actually when you had provided the storyboard it was easy, but maybe it was something, or this is something when you're creating stories which cause problems for you. I don't know, like drawing weapons or
weapons, and which hand we have on the weapon. It was very difficult for me. I saw to the mirror and I tried to make the same posture. It was very funny. Yes, the weapons. For example, on the cover is.
Let's check the cover.
In real, it's a friend, my friend from museum in my city, and they have this person with this element. In real, they have a beard, etc. Here is without beard. And they have a lot of weapons in museum.
Yeah.
And I can't choose this weapon, stand, etc., etc. Okay, this one is okay. I tried very like in real history. So the weapon is from this story, absolutely. The clothes, I think, is near about the people in this uprising. So.
Okay. Next question. I mean, what do you hope the readers, especially the youngers, will take away from this story? Yeah, you think it's what you can, what is the message?
First of all, I think when we discussed about how to end it, I really wanted it to end in a matter of hope. The embassy really wanted to end in the ships going to Israel after the end of the war, and they really wanted this like scenario at the end. And I wanted to bring it together with a human story, like who is the person, where's the people on this boat, not just like draw a boat coming to Israel with a flag. And because in my opinion, it's the human story behind it that makes it so special and helps young people to really connect to this story. Like the story of Anne Frank, really it touches young hearts very strongly in Israel, where I come from. When we learn about her, there's something about feeling like you know a person that makes you connect to their story, to their suffering, and to understand what they've been through. And also the hopefulness in their story, in their narration, is something that fills you with hope for your story. And my country is going through war right now, and I feel like after a year and a half of this, there are a lot of young people who doesn't feel like they can see the end of the tunnel in this like dark times. And especially now, I feel like hope is a very, very important thing to give to young students, young people who are not yet going to the army or not yet been to Poland for the first time in their life, still learning about their own narrative, about their own lives, and how they want to change their own stories. And I think it's so meaningful for them to be exposed to such stories of other young people who went through such hard times and managed to grow above that and fulfill their ambitions and dreams, even though they failed, even though they ran, even though they had to find a way to hide for so long and survive. And I think it's something that brings some sort of relief to know it's possible to be hopeful for better days, for quieter days. And I don't know, I feel like creating something about war during a war was so challenging for me. So I felt privileged not having to draw the realistic parts, just imagining the story I want to tell and I want to hear if I was young. And I feel like that was the meaningful thing to bring to younger audience.
Okay. And Michał, the same question. What do you think the most personally meaningful part of working on this project for you, let's say?
It's very difficult for me because we are here now in Poznań.
Yeah.
You had a uprising in Poznań. In Warsaw was 2 uprisings. Yeah. I'm from Zgierz, near Łódź. We have no uprisings.
Yeah.
We have a second big ghetto in the World War II, and it's occupation. It was very strange for me. My city generally is without history. Mm-hmm. It's a little city, typical city about factories, etc. The big history it's very important for me now, and I'm very proud of that. I can draw the comic about the history, about uprisings, about ghetto in Łódź. So.
Does it surprise you as a Polish man that in Israel nobody knew about this part of our history?
You know that, for example, when I was about 19, nobody knows about the ghetto in the Łódź. Yeah, it's very strange. My friend makes marker in the Łódź where is the area of the ghetto.
The old town.
Yeah, old town? Maybe it's old town, but Łódź is not old town. It's yeah. So I think it's very important. Yeah. Jewish term subject about Jewish in Łódź is very difficult term. So you're welcome in Łódź. You can check this. It's, so.
But I also don't think that this is a topic that we know much about as Polish. That there were Jewish brigades in the uprising, right? Because the uprising of 44 is so very a big topic that nobody wants to really hear about it anymore sometimes, because it tends to be very propaganda-like. And then, we don't really, we're trying to get back to being able to tell stories about Poland as a country that was multi-ethnical. That is still, but that used to be even more, right? And that people from different ethnics were the citizens simply. Maybe they didn't speak Polish well, maybe they spoke rather Russian because that was a part of Russia at that point, or German because it was a part of Germany at the time. And then when Poland was, but then those people who didn't have to still fought for Poland. That's absolutely fascinating, and but we didn't tend to talk about it, right? And I would forward that with a question because my friend who studies now in Berlin, Hada Streshev, I don't know you know her, but she's also from Israel. She studied here for a moment. She's an art student, art history student, and she's interested in the education about Jewish art history or art history in general. But she tended to say that in Israel you don't teach, for example, the Jewish art history of, for example, 19th century or 18th century. There is like the Bible, then the Holocaust, and I mean nothing in between. While in the European, because this is simply European history of art, right? There's so much. So I wonder if this also, fits into this subject. That there's so much that we have so much history that is about different people from different sides living in the same terrain, and then they are not there anymore because of different reasons, right? Some are tragic, some are less. But it's very difficult for us. For example, it's also that parts of Poland used to be Germany, and the Germans fled or were thrown away during the war or after the war and replaced with people, for example, from Ukraine, or maybe not from Ukraine, but of Ukrainian ethnicity. And bringing back this, and I'm sorry for speaking so much, but bringing back this history, making it your own, those legends, those myths, those stories that have been told, maybe not in your language, but maybe they can be translated because somebody knows this dialect of Ukrainian, because maybe somebody knows Yiddish and can translate it for you. This is absolutely fantastic. For example, we also don't have that many translations of Yiddish literature, even though that was Polish culture, right? And this is brilliant. It really shows you that it was not only Polish culture; it was also the Polish fighting for freedom, fighting for independence.
Yeah. I think Polish and Jewish culture is very much intertwined. Yiddish is Polish culture and Jewish culture, and I agree. There is a middle in the Jewish history that we are not concentrating on when we are learning about our own history. And the diaspora is like something we're like, we don't give too much thought about learning about how we were along with the people we were. We learned we were apart, we learned we had rules on the Jews in different regions, but you don't really get into the different communities that were living together, were moving together along this land in Europe, in North Africa. We are just focusing on the results. And there is a missing element that you only find when you are searching for it as an adult. And I think we need to push younger people to search for it right now, learn about their own history, their own paths in the world, their families with paths they went through. Jewish culture and Polish culture is so old, hundreds, thousands of years. And from the moment Jews went to the diaspora, Polania means here lies God. This is the meaning in Hebrew. This is why Jews came to this land and heard the sound. It's the legend that you hear Polania, Polania from the woods, and they decided to stay because they felt like this is where God stays. And there is such a strong connection that I feel like if I was able to just find out about it in 29, I feel like someone who's 19, 18 should be able to find out about it on his own and research the rest, because it's interesting, it's important, it's his story, it's my story.
And it allows you to connect with others.
Exactly, and it's the most important part. I think in comic, in storytelling, you want to connect. You need to, you must. It keeps us human.
Okay, last question. First to Michał. And the same for you, Yael. If you could go back and add one more element, to the comic, what would it be? So, if there will be an opportunity to change something, what would it be?
Change one element in the comics?
Yeah.
Or
Or you are completely happy with the result?
All my comics, I want to draw another one.
Only one.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I think I would like it to be longer, a bit longer, so we
Yeah.
can add more details, more of the story. But I felt like we went through a lot of ideas till we reached the final page. I feel like it was the page that went through a few changes, and I feel like when I put the final offer of the last page that was went through, I felt I was content. I was happy about what we are created, and I don't know. I think 4 or 5 more pages would have made me happier, but 8 pages, okay. It was a tough one, but it was possible, and maybe next time we'll have a longer story to write.
Personally, I didn't believe that it would be possible to put, the whole story with coming back to Israel in 8 pages, but it was successful because of both of you. So yeah, I can only congratulate. Are there any questions from the? It can be in Polish also.
Yeah, we can choose one.
Yeah, of course. If there are any questions.
I obviously have a question.
Sure.
Because you said that this was published for the anniversary, so that it's been some time since it's out. Do you know anything about reception?
No, actually.
No, I don't.
No idea.
Who got this comic book? It was distributed to the universities, the
High schools.
high schools.
Yeah.
So the plan was that they, I mean, as the embassy, we were told that they had some lessons, maybe about the Polish culture. I really don't know. So they had, let's say, time in the schools as the embassy. So they decided to, you know, spread the comic, give the comic to yeah. So this is the reason. But yeah, I didn't also receive any feedback from the embassy. We should ask.
Yeah,
actually.
Lukasz is here. We should ask him.
Yeah, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
So, was this a part of a bigger program, maybe some projects on similar books, similar booklets, similar lessons about other countries and Israel involvement in whatever was happening in other countries, or something more about the connection between Israel and Poland?
I don't know. I think it's really.
No, I mean, it was some kind of project that was actually when we started the cooperation with the embassy. So many years ago, it was a project called Kompot.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
I mean, yeah, and probably it's the same word, probably in Hebrew.
Do you have Kompot?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
of course.
Yeah, of course.
Every Friday night after dinner.
Yeah. So this is the purpose of this project. Actually, Michał Śledziński, who is right now signing the autographs, was part of the project with Daniel Goldstein. And they were, I mean, so people from Israel came to Poland. They were discussing, and then the comics appeared.
Oh.
So yeah, so.
What was Michał Śledziński's role? What did he do there in the project?
I don't remember,
Oh.
but I remember Daniel Goldstein part. It was really amazing.
What was it?
I mean, it was about all the prediction of, let's say, people about the Jewish, that they are eating kids or something like this, and it was really, yeah. Great story.
Awesome.
Daniel was
Lovely stories.
Lovely stories.
I love
Yes,
that.
yeah, do have a big fields. Really.
But maybe we will continue. I mean, Karen and Yael now they are here because of the embassy. So the embassy decided to support them and travel to Poland, and now they visited 2 cities, Warsaw,
Łódź, and now
so 3 cities.
Poznan. And when we get back to Israel, we are making a small booklet, like 30 pages long. Again, they like small books. I don't understand. About
it's good for you. It's good for you.
Sure, yeah.
30
pages long about
Well, that's still
how it's
108.
like to go around and visit Poland, just like as a visitor, as a tourist, and not just going to learn about the Holocaust. Because as an Israeli, it's sometimes the only reason you go to Poland. It shouldn't be, because there is a connection that you would like to explore. It does feel like home for me. I don't know, maybe not for someone from North Africa or Iraq, but there is a closeness in language, in culture, that is fun to look and learn about. And that, like, I feel like I'm exposing myself and other people for something that is maybe wasn't there before as an option. Like, just go to Poland and have fun and learn about your shared history, not your shared suffering.
Yes, yeah. So a few years back, Polish Museum made an exhibition on the food, on Jewish. It was about Jewish food from different regions. But actually, I've learned that I have no Jewish that I know of, right?
Yeah.
We tried to look for them, nothing really. Like, I mean, sad and surprising, but nothing. But still, the favorite food of my mom, it was brought by the Jews to Polish cuisine, which is fascinating, absolutely. So, and I think it's like, naleśniki z tworogiem. So it's the also food that you find in school, at schools, in milky bars. It's something like
Milky bars?
Yeah, we have milk bars.
Oh, wow.
It's a very homey food like grandma would make, with a lot of dairy stuff. That's why milk bar. Yeah, and so much of it, and it's interesting, and it helps you find some closeness in those cultures, because it's not about suffering at all, and it's about stuff of every day. It's not even about art, for example, or I don't know.
It's much smaller.
Yeah, it's something that you see on your table every Friday night, or every Saturday morning, right? So, and it's, I think it's very important. I mean, I think it's very important also for us in Poland, because still people tend to say that Poland is so very homogeneous, right? And that, I mean, it's all Polish. Well, it's, yes, but it doesn't.
It is, because of war it is. I mean, yeah, it's changing, but it is.
True, and also because of the communist times, right?
Yeah,
Because the language was very much regionalized before the radio, for example.
Yeah.
And then with the communist times and the radio and the education, well, it brought people together. It was needed, but now we also have fun finding those identities that are more local or more colorful, because you are not only something, right? You're not only.
Proszę bardzo.
I would like to ask whether you would be interested in rearranging a book of scientific historical research on the extermination of Jews in a camp on Helmno-Madnerem. It's Umrhof, if I remember rightly, in German. And this topic is not is almost not known in Poland, and still there should be some more research on it. But I think that it would be maybe a good thing, yes, to work on it, both from a Jewish side and from Polish scientists, to try to describe it, to have some conclusions, and just to bring this topic to knowledge of people in Israel and in Poland. I'm talking exactly about the book which was edited by my father, who was a Polish historian, and Obóz Zagłady w Helmno-Madnerem, and the literature about this topic is rather narrow. So still, I think that a lot may be done in it, yes, to put this topic into the knowledge of Polish and Jewish people.
Well, yeah, it's a comic artist, the same as Michał. So, if the embassy will be open for this idea, maybe it's a good idea. Yeah, to show it and spread the information.
Yeah, I agree. Never did edit in my life, but I think every opportunity to show history, untold history, and bring it to light, I think it's important. I love history. I'm a history nerd.
Yes, I couldn't agree with you more, yes, especially in these difficult political, anti-Semitic times in Poland. And I continue for a moment.
I mean,
to ask about another thing. I am myself the author of the book about two totalitarian system through which my parents lived through it. I mean Hitlerism. My mother was a prisoner of Auschwitz, and my father a prisoner of Stalinism in Poland. And one of the many people say that each chapter of my book is a ready comic situation, very how to say, visual.
I see.
I wanted to say. And one of the chapters is devoted to Polish people, prisoners of Auschwitz, attitude to Jewish prisoners in Auschwitz, and it's specific because it's described from my mother's memory, and it presents a situation not very favorable for Polish people, in which my mother remembers Polish people, common Jewish people, which are pushed to death, to a gas chamber, or stupid Jewish. They hope that there will be get to work, but they are pushed to death. And I remember my mother telling this story of the short situation. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it, that Polish people were like that. It was just after the film The Pianist by
Polanski.
Polanski, yes. I was shocked when I saw and heard in the film some Polish whispering, yes, oh, Jewish people, how stupid they are. So I think that it's also a part of the real history written by me from the first generation, the witnesses of the tragedy, and that is why I'm ready to put my book, which got the nomination to Politica history book this year. Sorry, I'm not boasting about it, yes, but just I think that it's worthy working on it with a reference to comics. There are a lot of scenes like that which I describe as an example. Sorry, too long, yes.
I'm really sorry, but there's another meeting coming up, so
I know,
That's why we have those speaks.
yes, that's why we have those things. So sorry. I mean, thank you, Yael, thank you, Michał, and thank you all. Thanks.